There's a quote by Jim Rohn that I absolutely love. It is, motivation is what gets you started, but it's the habit that keeps you going. And today, my friends, we're talking all about Instagram habits you need to start beginning today if you're passionate about getting your business the exposure it deserves. Are you ready to dive in? I know I am. Episode 263 starts right now.
Hey there, welcome to the Lora Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit lorashipman.com. That's L-O-R-A shipman.com to get all the goods. Now, you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started.
Well, hey friends, it is so good to say that it has been a while since you have heard my voice come across this podcast. And I don't really want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to share some of what has gone on in the last 6 to 8 weeks, why I've been so absent. Just a lot of personal family things going on. We did a major move and a major renovation into a new house. So that was one reason. And then the other reason is actually kind of sad. We lost my brother because of COVID, and that's really fresh and still really raw. It happened, 2 weeks ago. So we're still kind of recovering from that. So that is why I have been a little absent, but I am back in full swing, and I am ready to give you all the information that I know and use on a regular basis, mostly on Instagram, some on Facebook, and a lot on LinkedIn. So if you're into those 3 social media platforms, I'm ready to share what I know, friends. And so today's the day you need to sit down, grab some paper and a pen, and let's take some notes and get into these habits that I really think that you should start today. Because I'm telling you, they're a life changer. It's a game changer. It was a game changer for me. And the first thing I'm going to start off with is actually batch creating content. Now, if you've been around here for a little bit of time, you know this is one of my favorite topics, and there's a reason for it. It helps you categorize and get organized and create content ahead of time. So you're not trying to create content on the fly. So you're not searching for that thing. What am I going to do next? So when I batch create content, here's what I like to do. I like to keep a running list of content ideas, of content categories that I want to hit on a regular basis. And I have all sorts of notes in a document on Google Drive that I keep up to date. And I just sit down, and it's discipline. I will spend, depending on how much content I'm putting out there, but I usually budget about 4 hours to do a month's worth of content. Now, I know a lot of people have asked me in the past, like, how long does it take you to do a month's worth of content? So when I say I budget 4 hours, I am thinking of a 4-week month. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to do 3 posts a week. So that 4 hours maybe gives me 2.5 hours for the written content, and then maybe an hour to an hour and a half, if that, for the graphic side of it. And the more that you practice this, the faster you will get. And if you keep that list of content ideas, it is going to save you in the long run. So that's tip number 1, batch creating content. You really need to embrace that. And like I said, discipline, because it is not easy to sit there for 4 hours straight or 2 hours, take a break, and then go back 2 hours later and work on the same project. But you will be thanking me in the long run. I promise. Okay, the second thing I think is really important is to be constantly building a hashtag database. Now, hashtags change all the time, and your business changes all the time, right? It's multifaceted. You're multifaceted. It's seasonal sometimes. So you should be really creating hashtags or building a database on a regular basis. So how do you find these hashtags? What do you do? A lot of times I will base it on exactly what I'm working on, something that describes what I'm working on, describes the content that I'm working on. I'll also take a look at what's trending right now in the hashtag world, because what was trending 6 months ago is probably not trending today, which is why it's so important for you to constantly build this hashtag. I'll take a look and see what the competition's doing. What are they using for hashtags? All of those things will help create a really strong hashtag database for you. Okay, the next habit we should really all be embracing is networking on social media. This is so important. It doesn't matter the platform that you're on to truly embrace this. You can network on Instagram, you can network on Facebook, you can network on LinkedIn. And I really suggest you do this because you build relationships, you build know, like, and trust with different people. And then all of a sudden, you become a friend or you become, a colleague, or maybe you do business together. It has happened to me so many times. I get a lot of my business through Instagram and LinkedIn, and it's because I've been introduced to people through those platforms. I've made connections through those platforms, and not in a salesy way. LinkedIn can be a little salesy where people are bombarding your inbox. No, this is true, authentic, genuine connection where you really want to get to know each other and how you can mutually help each other. That's the kind of networking that you need to do. So don't be afraid of your direct messages. Don't be afraid to reach out and touch someone and get to know them. It's really important to build your network, whether you're building a physical network in person or a virtual network on the social media platforms. It's important to have those conversations. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there spinning your wheels and you're going to be wondering, why the heck is my account not growing? Why am I not getting business? Why aren't people reaching out to me? Because you need to reach out first. And I know it's tough as an introvert, but it's something that is extremely necessary. Okay, the next habit that you need to embrace, and this is habit number 4, is learning new techniques, both written and graphic, because that's what social media is, right? It's a visual platform. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, it's visual. So that means learning how to use video, how to use short form video, how to create graphics that stop the scroll, how to write so that people stop and read. That is really key. One of the things that I think is so important that we do is create that first sentence. Those first 7 words that you throw out on social media have to be intriguing. It has to compel people to stop and want to read more. So one of my favorite little tips is to find really good hooks. Like sometimes it's hard to come up with those hooks. Like what's clever, what's exciting, what's going to stop people and make them read. I like to Google subject lines that get open, email subject lines that get open. So if you Google that, you will get a list, especially on Pinterest, of tons of one-liners that kind of grab your attention. I like to look at YouTube titles because that is also where you will find just like a ton of really good ideas for hooks, because that's what those YouTube videos are doing, right? They need to stop people from scrolling and going on to the next video. They have to come up with a really good title so that people dive in and watch the video. Podcast is another great place to look at the titles. What titles are they using to get people to stop and listen to the podcast? And one other resource you can use to come up with really good hooks are blog posts. Yeah, so go ahead and Google blog post titles or the best blog post titles ever, and you will come up with a lot of great ideas. And you'll say, oh, that's something I want to read. Whenever you have that moment when you're looking at any of these ideas, jot that down, and then all you need to do is turn it into something that works for your product or service. I'm telling you, that's where I get a lot of my titles from. And Pinterest is a great resource because they usually have infographics that share what these hooks or titles are, and you will trust me, you will thank me later. So really try and work on those hooks, those first 7 words. And then if I were to add on to this tip, I would also say make use of white space and bullets, because we are in a fast-paced world. People do not have a lot of time to read. If they can just scan and get the information that's pertinent to them, they'll be coming back to your account. So think about how you can create white space and make it really easy for people to read. And then my final tip of the day today, tip number 5, is always be testing. You are a scientist in the world of social media. There is no right way or wrong way to do social media. The only right way is what's right for your account and your followers. And you always need to be testing to see what kind of content they really resonate with. And that would mean maybe they like infographics, maybe they like mini trainings, or maybe they love videos and the short form videos. Whatever it is that they tend to engage with the most, that's what you need to create more of. So you need to be testing your audience all the time to see what lights their fire. Okay, my friends, those are my 5 habits that you need to start today, because it will change your social media world, I promise. So they are, really quickly: batch creating content, number 1. Number 2, constantly and consistently building a hashtag database. Number 3, network with the people you meet online. Number 4, learn new techniques, both written, graphic, and video. And number 5, always be testing. I hope this was helpful. I hope you gained some clarity on how you're going to tackle your social media platforms going forward. All right, my friends, that does it for this episode. Kiss the ones you love. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe, but most of all, stay social.
Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.